All right, guys, live stream should be starting up now. Welcome. Happy Thursday. We have a smaller slate here, 4 games, but still a decent one, I think, for tournaments. There's a lot of uncertainty with some of these teams and their rotations, which probably doesn't make it the best cash game slate, but I think, again, makes it a pretty decent tournament slate, right? For the Pistons, outside of like Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, that rotation's kind of a mess. Brooklyn, I think they're going to go with a hot hand outside of like KD and Patty Mills. The Knicks, we already know they were doing that. So I think there's a lot of variance involved in the slate, a lot of ways you can go. And then cherry on top is now we have Christian Wood questionable. I don't expect him to play, but at least there's a chance he could play. And that would obviously definitely affect the Houston value. So news-wise, again, really, we only have the Christian Wood status that we're keeping an eye on, which is somewhat refreshing with recent NBA slates, right? Christian Wood, the only real piece of news that we are waiting for. But yeah, guys, this will be a Q&A live stream, so make sure to leave some questions in the chat. I'll do my best to answer everyone's. And as always, if you guys do enjoy, just make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Would really, really appreciate that. All right, guys, so yeah, let's see. What questions do we have here? Yeah, Cade versus Beal it's a good question. I think the more optimal play is Brad Beal. But I do think Cade comes in at much less ownership. This game could be kind of sneaky, this Pistons-Pacers game. Two not-so-good teams going up against each other. Cade's been pretty high usage for the Detroit Pistons, so Cade's definitely the pivot. I think Beal is more of your optimal play. Just curious, what would be your 4-pick parlay? Oh, money line. So for these 4 games, Pacers, 76ers, Knicks, Suns. Some good minutes yesterday. Kind of scared me. What happened if the game is close? So I would think he still closes if the game is competitive, assuming that Christian Wood does not play. I do think though Tice probably gets one more rotation, right? Tice only played 4 minutes in the second half. I think we probably would have got like Tice starting the fourth quarter, let's say. So say Sengun came in for Tice 4 minutes into the second half. Sengun plays his 8 minutes and then start the fourth quarter. I would think what happens is Tice starts the fourth, plays like 6 minutes or so, and then they bring in Sengun to close. That would be like my guess of the Rockets rotation. Obviously, I can't say that with 100% certainty, but that's what I would have thought happened if the game would stay competitive. I thought we would have got one more Daniel Tice shift. Play both KD and Embiid and then value. I like it. Yeah, Embiid, I mean, look at the Nets who they have, right? They have a washed-up Blake Griffin. They have Claxton, who's very prone to foul trouble, and they have Day'Ron Sharpe. So, in theory, Embiid should be able to have his way here. He should. Can you play Brogdon with Sabonis? Hard for me to get behind that. I think the only way I am doing that on this slate is if I'm just full stacking the game. So I'm just pushing all my chips into the Pistons-Pacers game and hoping it turns into a massive shootout or hoping maybe we get overtime. So I think the only way I do that, playing Brogdon and Sabonis together, would be if I do this. I would just do that. Boom. I would just full stack it, right? I would get the 2 studs in there for the Pacers, run it back with Cade, and then mix some value around there. But yeah, that would be the only way I do that, I think. Do you think Jay Brown is in play tonight? Jay Brown. Are you talking about Bruce Brown? How would you rank the Knicks guys for cash? So I think Randall's your very clear safest option, followed by Derrick Rose, followed by Burks. I think those 3 have the most secure minutes as it stands right now. And I just wanted to make sure RJ Barrett was in fact out, because I know that I didn't see confirmation on that, but that's the way I would rank it. And then I don't know if I could touch anyone else in a cash game setting because quickly Fournier. They're still going to go with the hot hand there. Like, one of those guys might not close. So that's how I'd rank it for cash. KD and Embiid optimal. I think KD is definitely your optimal spend up Embiid. I think you can make the argument for it if there's enough value you feel really good about. Jay Smith, not Jay Brown. Jay Smith. Oh, Jalen Smith for Phoenix? No, he's probably not going to play because DeAndre Ayton is healthy. JaVale McGee is going to play the backup 5. So, yeah, Jalen Smith will not be in the rotation unless this game just turns into a massive blowout. So, yeah, he was someone that was playable when Ayton was out and he played the backup 5, right? Because that one game he played 22 minutes. Do you like Eric Gordon? I think Eric Gordon's a good tournament play. He is on a pretty shorthanded Rockets team, assuming that Christian Wood does not play. He's going to be one of their highest usage guys. He probably plays 30-plus minutes. I think you can make the argument for him in a cash game setting, too. The only downside I will say with him for cash is he is pretty scoring dependent, so he can still have a floor game. But with the roster that's out there right now for Houston, they're probably going to rely pretty heavily on a guy like Eric Gordon. Do you think Embiid sits? I think he plays. I don't too much worry. Sabonis or Randall. So I think Randall's a little bit more optimal at his price. Now, I think Sabonis comes in at way less ownership. So, like, Randall at his price looks a little bit better, but you're also going to get a fraction of the ownership on a guy like Sabonis. So if you wanted to go, if you're building a lineup and it's pretty chalky already, then you could just swap Sabonis for Randall. Embiid plus Durant and the scrubs take down the game. Doesn't blow out another overtime. Yeah, like that. I'm fine with that. Stacking up the Brooklyn game. KCP over the Nets value. I think KCP is an interesting value play today. There's so many question marks on this Brooklyn side for value. I think a lot of people are going to overreact to what happened last game. I'm not convinced we're all of a sudden going to get, 40 minutes from David Duke and 40 minutes from Kessler Edwards. Also, you got to factor in that Langston Galloway, I believe, is active. I'm actually going to search my phone. I want to make sure that is confirmed. I saw they signed him to a 10-day contract, but is he for sure in tonight? Yeah, I see the 10-day. I still haven't seen confirmation of that yet. Like, I saw he signed the contract. Huh. So I saw current Nets, Langston Galloway, and DeAndre Bembry played together at play together. Okay, I thought they were saying that they played like a warm-up game or something. I was like, what is going on there? So I still haven't seen confirmation on that. Now, if Galloway does not play, then it's going to be only an 8-man rotation. Then the Nets value would look better. But if Galloway plays, then I think you can definitely go to KCP over some of the Nets value there. Travis said, yes, sir, in the place to be. Hit that like button. Yeah, guys, again, make sure to stay at the like button if you do enjoy. Appreciate that, Travis. We're at 20 likes. Appreciate you guys. Thoughts on Cameron Payne? So I'm glad you brought Cameron Payne up. I think he's a good value. He's kind of quietly been playing more minutes. I don't think a ton of people are noticing. Last couple, 29, 34 in overtime. But again, that was, 29 in regulation. If he continues to play close to 30 minutes a game, I'm fine paying 5.2K for him. Now, the downside here is I'm not convinced we're going to get like 30 minutes a game from Cam Payne. And there's a chance maybe if he does not play well, those go back to like 20 minutes, which then I would not be okay paying 5.2K for him. Back to Cam Thomas. Yeah, so that's one where it's like, it'll kind of come down to what I think his ownership's going to be, but he let down everyone last night. Like, he was, again, 100% owned in the Thunderdome and couldn't hit a shot. Now, that's the downside of Cam Thomas is he's pretty scoring dependent. But also you got to remember, like, he was very clearly ahead of those other guys in the rotation. So I don't think all of us, like, we're going to continue to get, 35 plus minutes from Kessler Edwards and David Duke, and Cam Thomas is only going to play 22 minutes. I don't think that happens again. So I do kind of like going back to the wall on Cam Thomas. I think ownership is it's definitely going to be lower than last slate. I'm curious what it's going to end up at, but it's definitely going to be a lot lower than last slate. Is it fine to play both Tyson Sengen in the same lineup? If Christian Wood is out, yeah. Yep. Killian Hayes, yes, no, out of my mind. No, I don't mind him for tournaments. Now, he's another one where it's like, I don't think he'll be super popular. He's been dealing with a thumb injury. He's not great. Like, the floor is low, but he can go for like mid-20s fantasy points, and he's sub 4K. So I don't hate going to Killian Hayes here. I just think he goes very overlooked with the other value on the slate. So I don't think you're out of your mind at all. I think he's a good contrarian play. Send to the G Leagues. Right, dude, I'm so tilted about that. I had Sadiq Bey as a core option that slate with Jeremy Grant out. 9 fantasy points. Do you like Ayton tonight? It's hard to like him at that price. He can still have a ceiling game. Like, he can go for 50 in this spot, but like, yeah, it's really hard for me to get or feel confident with this price point. Yeah, Hayes or Holiday is a good question. That's one where I think, again, I don't really look at ownership, but I think Aaron Holiday is going to get a lot more ownership, assuming he starts. He's probably more of your cash game play than Killian Hayes, but I kind of like Killian Hayes as a pivot there. So, good point there. I would think a majority of people go to Aaron Holiday, and I think people overlook Killian Hayes tonight. So I don't mind going to Hayes as a pivot there. I think he comes in at much less ownership. I do. Isaiah Stewart, a little bit too pricey for me. Now, he did play a ton of minutes last game. I'm not convinced we get that same run again from him. Like, didn't he play close to 40 minutes? He played 40 minutes for Isaiah Stewart. Now, this is a big front court, but I think he goes back to like 28 to 30 minutes. I'm running one lineup. Let's see, tonight for a change, DK. What's your honest advice? Who optimal plays? So you're definitely, just keep an eye on the Langston Galloway news, but KD is going to be the guy you want to look to at the top, and then look to that Nets value, I would say. KCP or Campaign. If you have the salary, Campaign, right? Campaign is a guy that has more upside than KCP, but KCP is like $1,000 cheaper. So if it's just straight up, it's Campaign for me. On that note, Bay today, he's going to go off, right? Same thing I said about Chris Paul after he let me down a couple sites ago. And the next night I was like, he's going to go off and tilt me, and Chris Paul in for 60. So Sadiq Bey, after that last game, expect him to go for like 35 tonight, and you're going to see me extremely tilted in my video tonight for tomorrow's slate. So, pretty much a lock that Sadiq Bey crushes tonight. Can't wait for Isaiah Thomas. Can't wait to play Isaiah Thomas, Westbrook, and Protocols. Yeah, I saw they signed IT too. Also, I saw him have like an insane stat line, like 40-something points and almost a triple-double. Let's hear your early thoughts on MIP, Rookie of the Year, and Six-Man. Maybe like the favorite now for your sneaky pick. Thanks. Yeah, good question. I've been this way for Rookie of the Year at least. My pick hasn't changed. I said at the beginning of the year, give me Alperen Sengun for Rookie of the Year. Hasn't changed. He's just now starting to get a little bit more run, and people are seeing what he can do. Haven't changed. I'm still Sengun Rookie of the Year. I haven't looked at the market, but I think you could still get that at pretty good value. So everyone's talking about Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes. Those three are definitely the favorites. But for value, I think Sengun can still win it. It's early in the year, and if he continues to get more minutes here, people are going to see how good this guy is. Sixth man, it's still Tyler Hero for me. And then most improved player, probably Jordan Poole. Cade Cunningham or Malcolm Brogdon on FanDuel. What's their price points on FanDuel? I haven't looked. Gafford, a good play. The two Wizards centers are always good tournament plays, in my opinion. Like, you can't confidently project who's going to play more. Like, most of the time it's going to be a pretty even split, but there's a chance, like, Gafford could get in foul trouble and Harrell could play way more. Or there's a chance Gafford has one of those games where he plays extremely well and blocks, like, 5 shots. So, like, I like both for tournaments, but they're never guys I can go to with confidence. I don't think they're going to be super popular on the site, though. Is Derrick Rose a good play? Feels like 6,300 is a lot. Why is Alcor 7,100? Just for the amount of minutes they're playing, right? They ran like basically an 8-man rotation last game. Here, I'll bring it up. But yeah, Burks played almost 40. Derrick Rose played like 35 minutes. They ran a really tight rotation. And now it's a good spot here against the Rockets. So yeah, last game against the Warriors, like I said, it was a 9-man rotation, but Randall played 37. Noel and Robinson basically split the center run. Rose played 34. Burks played 39. Fournier played 29. Knox played 20, but he's in the protocols. Quickly played 22. McBride played 20. So with Knox in the protocols, it might be an 8-man rotation. How do you feel about Duarte? He'll be low owned. It's a decent spot here against the Pistons. So fine contrarian play. Embiid or Cade, they're different price points. If you have the salary for Embiid, I would much rather go there. You like Brogdon with his price of DKs. A lot of guys are priced up. A lot of guys are priced up on DraftKings, which I think makes it a good slate. It's a little bit tougher to make a lineup, which I always prefer over the ones where we just have like 4 or 5 free squares and everyone's playing those guys. Like that's no fun. I more enjoy slates like this where it's tougher to build out a lineup. Guys, we're at 100 viewers, only 27 likes. If you are coming in, just make sure to hit the like button if you do enjoy. Really appreciate it. I'll be live for another 15 minutes answering some questions. So if you have any questions in the chat, throw them in here. Again, it's Q&A style, so I'm happy to answer any questions. Favorite Knicks, Randall at the top, yeah. Brogdon 78 and Cunningham 79. Then I would have a small lean to Brogdon there. Armani Brooks or campaign? That's a good question. With Eric Gordon coming back, I think it's campaign for me. Cam Thomas with Eric Gordon or Derrick Rose to KCP. Good question. That's a tough one. Because I do like Derrick Rose a good amount. KCP is just always a guy that, he can get you 30, he can get you 10. But you can say almost the same thing about Cam Thomas too, right? With what we saw last game. That's such a tough question. I'm going to say the second one, but that's pretty close. Claxton or Harrell. Again, different price points, but point per dollar. If Claxton stays out of foul trouble, I think he's a good value. Kevin Durant 12-3. Option on opinion on fading Phoenix, Washington altogether. I don't think you need someone in that game. I don't. So, a lot of the guys are a little bit overpriced, right? Especially on the Phoenix side. You look at Chris Paul at almost 10K. You look at Ayton at almost 9K. So, I don't think you need someone in that game. I do like Rose, but it'll probably be I think Rose would be pretty popular. I agree. Durant and even build, or Durant plus another high spend up. Kind of depends on what happens with Christian Wood here. If Christian Wood ends up playing, there's less value on the board. So I might be more inclined to go Durant plus balance build. Now, I do want to mention it. I'm probably not going to do it myself, but on this slate, what do you guys think Durant's ownership is going to be, right? Especially in high stakes, 90%. So what if something happens where just the game blows out, right? Random blowout, and KD only plays 3 quarters. Well, then there's a decent chance he's not going to be in the winning lineup, and he's going to be the absolute chalk. Again, I'm not telling you to fade Kevin Durant because I'm not going to do it, but just thought I'd bring it up. If you're making a few lineups, maybe you do fade him in one and just hope something weird happens, hope the game's a random blowout, because I think ownership is going to be extremely high on him. Prize picks tonight. Yeah, let me bring it up on my phone really quick. Let's see. See if there's anything that stands out to me here for prize picks. Let's go to fantasy score. So that seems pretty low for Sabonis. 40.5 for Sabonis feels a little bit too low against the Pistons. So kind of like the over there. And then I will say, monitor the status of Galloway. If Galloway ends up playing, I think you can go under on David Duke 25 fantasy points. I think that last game was kind of an outlier. Could Josh Christopher or KJ Martin get us there again tonight? If the game blows out, yes. If the game stays competitive with Eric Gordon back, no. I don't think they play enough in a competitive game to get there. If the game blows out like it did last slate, that's where those guys are going to get an extended run. playing Kevin Durant is not a balanced lineup. Well, you can play Kevin Durant and then build a balanced lineup is what we're saying. Like here, if you go Kevin Durant, throw some value in there, you can still build out a balanced lineup from here. So, yeah, not that hard to do that. Opto's spitting out 100% Miles Turner, which I said this exposure to, seriously, LOL. He's an okay contrarian play. Like, the positive also with Miles Turner is the minutes, right? These minutes are way up. 30-plus now, last 5 games. He's a good shot blocker. Where he really has the big upside is when he goes for one of those games, kind of like last game where he blocks like 5 shots. So at this price point, it doesn't stand out, but I'm not going to tell you no. That was, laugh my ass off. That was, what was a good one, Damien? Best value shooting guard. Depends what price range you're looking in. Can easily get KD in balance. What? Yeah, I'm kind of confused as well. I don't know who he's laughing at. Which Nets value piece is your favorite for tournaments? I think Cam Thomas, because I think the ownership drops, and he's a guy that does have upside if he can hit his shots. Do you usually? Yeah, I play one lineup. I play one lineup and play, single entry tournaments. Interested Kuzma. I think he's fine. I think he should be the number 2 in offense. Should play 30-plus minutes. So, yeah, Kuzma looks solid. Bay or Griffin? I don't really want to play either. I think Blake might be a little bit overowned. Oh, God, that's just like one where I throw up in my mouth. I'll say Sadiq Bey, but I don't love either. I definitely don't. All right, let's see. Do we have any other updated news? Again, it's kind of nice that we're not dealing with a ton here. So a lot of stuff we're getting for Friday. Oh, the goat, Yurt goat is questionable. Yeah, just getting a lot of stuff for Friday. Turner doesn't really stand out at this price. Playable, can have upside if he has one of those games where he blocks like 5 shots, but yeah, does not stand out. Brooks or Payne at guard. I'm gonna say campaign with Eric Gordon back. I'm not sure because I have not built out a lineup yet. But I will say just monitor the Langston Galloway news. That's pretty significant, right? If he plays, makes those values a little bit riskier. One more body in the rotation. If he misses, 8-man rotation kind of solidifies the value. Why is Tice 3K? LOL. Yeah, so like again, if the Rockets game is competitive, I think Tice probably plays or gets more run. Duke or Edwards for value. So like I think Edwards comes in at less ownership. That's my guess. So I'll say Edwards. I personally think Edwards is a little bit better point per minute guy than Duke from what I've seen in the summer league. So I'll say Edwards there. Is it better to be really different in single entry games? Normally, you don't want to get too contrarian. I mean, you can if you have like a really strong take on the slate or you want a game stack or something like that. But a majority of the time, the good plays are properly owned. Thoughts on Diallo? The Pistons value, I think, are all in play for tournaments. They're going to go with the hot hand situation, basically outside of like Cade, Stewart, and Sadiq Bey. So like that grouping of like Killian Hayes, Saban Lee, Frank Jackson, Diallo, Rodney Magruder saw some run last game. They can go to a lot of different guys. So tempted to pick Bey now, although what a player screw. Yeah, exactly. Like it's going to be almost a lock that he goes off. Yeah, if Wood's out, I think Sengun's a good play. Any cheap center plays? So we talked about those Nets guys. I think they look pretty good. Other options, I think the Knicks centers and Robinson Noel make a little bit of sense on a small slate to try to make your lineup different. Neither stand out, but the ownership should be very low on those guys. Expect them to almost split or fully split the 48 minutes there at center. So I think those guys are playable. How do you feel about Frank Jackson? I think he's a fine tournament play. I don't think he'll be super popular. Minutes and production is up and down for him. You can get Randall and KD and feel confident about the line. Yeah, then go for it. If you think Claxton stays out of foul trouble, yeah. Because it's a big matchup, and he's sub 4K. Now the concern is he's prone to foul trouble already, and now he gets to go up against Joel Embiid. So that's not great, right? Bay's due for a good game. He's probably going to smash tonight. Brogdon over Cade for tournaments. Fine with it. Yeah. I don't know if super strong taking on which one I prefer. So Brogdon, if the game stays competitive, he'll play 35 plus minutes. All right, guys, winding it down. Any last minute questions, leave them in here. Otherwise, I will call it on that. Again, appreciate you guys coming to check out the 4-game slate live stream tonight. Twitter. Twitter's going to be your best friend. Just Twitter search his name. Again, that's what I've been doing. I still haven't seen anything. Okay, Langston Galloway is in the building. I saw a picture of him, so someone just bought a hollow Langston Galloway and Top Shot. Interesting. So yeah, just keep an eye on that one. Is KD a lock? I think the way he fails is a blowout. That's the way he's going to fail. So, all right, guys, I'm going to call it on that, though. So good luck tonight on the small slate. Hope you guys all do well. And I will see you guys back here in the next live stream.